Afternoon. I've come to the battlefield that is Cheriton. The Battle of Cheriton was fought here, and it's actually on this field behind me. It was on the 29th of March 1644 that the Roundhead army and the Cavaliers of Charles I, King Charles I, met here. And what I'll do, I'll turn you around and I'll focus on that plaque so you can read it. So there you go, Battle of Cheriton, 29th of March 1644. In these fields during the Great Civil War, the Roundhead army under Sir William Waller gained a notable victory over the Cavaliers of King Charles I, led by the Earl of Forth and Lord Hopton. This monument commemorates those 20,000 soldiers who hazarded their lives on that spring day. The Royalist generals withdrew their army in good order past this place. So we're going to go up and read that plaque, if there's anything to read on it. Looks like it's a bit weather beaten. Oh my god. It's been completely destroyed. Anyway, here it is. Battle of Cheriton was in this field. There's a couple of deer over there. Don't know if I'll be able to zoom in enough. Here they are. 3 of them sitting in the middle of the battlefield. And that's over there is Cheriton Wood, which is the Parliamentary army held that. It's difficult to get to. It's a single track lane for about 2 miles, probably in both ways, both directions. So I'm parked down there. Cheriton, the actual village of Cheriton, is just over there. Oh, it's hard to think, you know, all those years ago, what was it, 377 years, something like that, that went on in these fields. The deers are on the move. Let's see if I can get some blurb about it. How many people were actually killed here? Does it say? Not that many. I mean, there was 2,500 Royalist cavalry, 3,500 infantry was here, and the Parliamentarian army had 3,500 cavalry and 6,500 infantry, and the Royalists had 300 killed or wounded, and the Parliamentarians 60 killed or wounded, which isn't that many really. I mean, it wasn't the biggest battle of the war. I mean, not as big as battles like Naseby or the Battle of Marsden Moor or Edge Hill. There's deers walking across there. Tell you what, back in the day, they would have eaten them, wouldn't they? I think when the Royalist army withdrew, they withdrew up this road towards Aylesford, or New Aylesford, and up to Oxford, which was Charles I's stronghold. It was basically his capital. Deer running across the field. Yeah, although it wasn't a big battle, apparently it did change the fortunes of the Royalist cause. It basically stopped them from getting a foothold in Sussex and Kent, that way, towards the east. They never again held that position in southern England, the Royalists, after the Battle of Cheriton 1644. So it basically finished off their cause in southern England. Very tranquil place. You can imagine all the it's quite high ground here as well. The Royalists held some high ground on this ridge. Yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on in Cheriton Wood. You can imagine the if you could have a metal detector in these fields, what you could find. So I wanted to come here because this is the nearest battle to where I live, nearest pitched battle anyway. There was skirmishes and sieges, but this was like a pitched battle. So, very tranquil spot. Do like that little carving there, but it would be good if they could replenish this thing here so it could give us some information, because when you look on Google Earth here, this has actually got the all the info on it. It's a bit annoying. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little drive down here, and I don't think you can actually get into Cheriton Wood. I think it's private, even though back in the day it was common ground. It's like aircraft, it's very low. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to take a little drive down here, pull into a little lay-by there. I have something to eat because I'm starving. I'll see you in a minute. And walk back to the car. Haven't seen one car while I've been here. It's very nice. I like it a lot. So here it is, Cheriton Wood. I think maybe you can walk around in there, but dogs must be kept on leads. But this is quite a strategic place because it was the Royalists and the Parliamentarians wanted control of this, and obviously the Parliamentarians gained control in the end, and the Royalist army made a swift retreat. Apparently, I was just reading that the Royalist defeat here it necessitated His Majesty to alter the scheme of his affairs and replace an offensive war with a defensive war. So after this battle, they were on the defensive all the time rather than the offensive. So it's what it says here. So I'm reading a bit as we go and saying it was, although not as a big a battle as say Marsden Moor, it was equally as important. Yes. It was, well, important to the Parliamentarians, but disastrous for the Royalist army, the King's army. Yeah, interesting. Tell you what, I'm starving hungry. I'm going to cook myself some food here. Should be interesting. Let's have a little look around. Restricted byway down there. Trifle muddy, as you'd expect this time of year. Hear those birds singing. A nice little woodland in there, doesn't it? Just stepped over the gate into Cheriton Wood. It looks like we've got some sort of hut here, which seems very nice. I don't know if this is for members of the public to use. But you know what? I'm going to get my bag and I'm going to set my little camp stove up on there. I bought my gas stove today, so yeah. And I got myself a Wayfayrer meal as well. So I'm just going to go back to the car, get my bag. I'll go over there and make a coffee. Right. So let's just step over this. Now we're in Cheriton Wood, which is steeped in history, English history, the English Civil War, fought in the 1640s. Just in case people who are watching this around the world who don't know the history of the English Civil War, it was fought in the 1640s, and it was basically Parliament against the King, and Parliament wanted to take all the power, or most of the power, away from the King. They didn't like the idea that one person had all that say over what was happening in the country. You know, which is a good idea. One man should not have all that power. There's been 3 really big civil wars in England. The War of the Roses, you had the Anarchy actually was earlier, one called the Anarchy, which was fought in the 1100s, around about 1135 to 1154. That was to do with King Stephen and Matilda. And there was the War of the Roses in the 1400s, which saw the Tudor kings come into power. You know, everyone knows Henry VIII, don't they? Tudor king. And then you had the English Civil War of 1640s, from 1642 to about 1649. 3 different wars in that one. First Civil War, the Second Civil War, English Civil War. I think by the time the 3rd one came around, that's when Parliament started getting fed up with the King, because they wanted him to stay as king, believe it or not. But obviously without all the power that he had, but he wasn't having any of it, so in the end they executed him. Probably one of the first kings to be beheaded, before King Louis of France. Filming all around. Filming all around. It's a lovely space, lovely place. I do like it. Right, let's go and have a coffee. Warm my hands up a bit on that as well. Turned chilly again today. This is what I got today. Wayfayrer food, real food for the great outdoors. Meatballs and pasta. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Coffee first though, as always. I've also got a nice big spoon for it to dig in. Oh, kettle's boiling. I think. Yep. turn it down a little bit while I do this. I love hearing the wind in the trees here. Almost sounds like a car in the distance, but it's not. Right, let's get this water on. So what it says, you can either decant it all into a pot, which I'm not going to do. It says you can boil it in the bag as well. So place unopened pouch in a pan of boiling water on a suitable camping stove. Leave to boil for 7 to 8 minutes. Turn off stove, dispose of water, leave pat to cool for a minute. Right, so I've got quite a big pot of water here. Let's get it boiling. The more that's boiling, we'll have some coffee. Water's starting to go. Lovely. And it says between 7 and 8 minutes. Low plane again. Yeah, it says 7 to 8 minutes. So I'm going to split the difference, put it in there for 7.5. We'll see what it's like. Meatballs and pasta. Succulent beef meatballs in tomato sauce and pasta shells. Sounds good. So there goes the water, starting to boil. Nice rolling boil there. So that's in there. What I'm going to do, set the timer going. I haven't used my little camp stove for a while, have I really? Old faithful. I suppose I could have bought the wood stove. Thinking about it. Maybe I'll come up here again and bring the old Bushbox XL. Nice tranquil little spot. While I'm waiting for that to boil, I'd like to show you this. If you go back to my very first video, maybe my first 2 or 3 videos actually, back in 2019, this is the gas stove I used to use. Tiny little thing. And whenever I take my gas stove out, I always bring this one along as a spare, just in case something happens, and it's just sort of like unfolds like that. Tiny thing. And it can be quite difficult to balance stuff on it, but I have used this a lot in the past. But I just love the smallness of it, so you know, and the way it just folds away. Love it. And that's sort of like spring loaded. The tap for it. Always worth keeping in your bag. It's so small you can just slip it in your pocket, couldn't you? You wouldn't even know you had it. Okay then. That's the alarm going off. I can see my car from here and someone's just pulled up by it. So I'm watching what's going on. Right. So we've got to take it out of here and leave it to stand for a minute, which is what I will do. I think it's just someone taking their dog for a walk, pretty sure. It feels warm. Mind you, it has been in boiling water, hasn't it? So it should. Dispose of the water as per instruction. I'm not going to stand on ceremony, I'm going to open it up. Ooh. Cool. Yeah, it smells good. There we go. Right. A moment of truth. Can you see that? Don't look half bad, does it? Smells good too. Right. Got me long spoon. Let's give it a bit of a mix around. There's a meatball. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all, that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. Starving as well. God, that's good. I did actually look to see what the armies of the day ate in those back in 1644. Meat, if they could get hold of it, obviously, and a lot of pulses, wheat, oats, grains. Probably foraged for a lot of stuff around here as well. It's hard to believe that such a, you know, as pitched battles go, it wasn't the big one, that it did have an effect on the war. On the English Civil War. It's a fascinating period of history. The only film I can think of that really deals with that part of history is a film called Cromwell, which stars Alec Guinness as King Charles I and Richard Harris played Cromwell. So Obi-Wan Kenobi and Dumbledore. Yeah, it's about the only film I can think of that actually deals with the English, tells a story. And it's a good story. A fascinating part of English history. I'm going to make a pig of myself again, so I'll bring you back in a minute. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? Dropped a great big dollop on my coat. This coat needs washing badly anyway. My North Face. It was inevitable. I'm practically done now. Mrs. Rob the Rover brought me this. She was walking by millets down in Southsea. Walked in there, bought me that, and she also bought me treacle sponge pudding as well. But I haven't brought that with me today. That's for another time. So I like that. What a mess I've made of myself. But that was very nice. That hit the spot. And there's a rubbish bag there I can put all my rubbish in too, which is very handy. I'll lick the spoon clean before I put it back in my bag. It's fantastic here. Really local. Oh, pardon me. Let's see if that gas stove's cooled down already. Yeah. Takes about 5 minutes to cool down. Marvellous. I wonder if this is people who look after Cheriton Wood because of the history of the place. I don't know. That was a very nice lunch actually. I like those Wayfayrer meals. I think I'm going to have to come back here again sometime, because obviously you can walk around this wood, but it'd be nice to, I mean I haven't really got the time today to go on a proper adventure through these woods, which I would really like to do, because it's absolutely lovely around here. Cheriton Wood. Who would have thought that, like I say, such a peaceful spot would play host to a pitched battle of the English Civil War on the 29th of March 1644. Love history. The sun coming down there. I think I'm going to have to get a picture of that. Beautiful. But anyway, thanks for coming out with me today, having a quick look at the battlefield that was the Battle of Cheriton all those years ago, and a quick little look into Cheriton Wood. I will come back here again. I might wait for the spring or the summer to come back, and maybe I'll bring me bush box or something, I don't know, or maybe the Trangia. But yeah, anyway, thank you for coming out and about with me. If you like the video, give it a little thumbs up. Maybe subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm over 300 now, so thank you very much, everyone who's subscribed to my channel. And thank you to anyone who's going to subscribe. And thank you to anyone who just watches the video. Thank you for doing that. And I'll leave you now from this wonderful place. And I'll see you next time when we're roving about, wherever it may be. See you soon. Bye.